This week on the Late Apex, we talk ESL R1. Can it be the biggest ever sim racing event? Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Late Apex. I'm Tim Cox with Sam Fitzpatrick. We're back on the sofas, and Sam, let's get stuck straight into it. ESL R1 on Ren Sports, brand new esports competition. Is this going to be the biggest sim racing tournament, well, not just of the year, within the genre at all?
Well, it's got a lot of potential. Of course, ESL already organising huge events when it comes to Dota and CSGO as well. With their kind of knowledge when it comes to these big events, this could be a breakthrough potentially when it comes to sim racing for this championship.
I mean, it's a big old prize pool as well. €500,000 spread across this year alone, which is going to encompass 2 seasons and a grand final at the end of the year as well. I mean, are they setting themselves up for something potentially great or a big fall here? Because this game, not even in public beta, not even in beta at all, still in alpha. It's risky business. Or with ESL's backing, is this actually going to hit all the marks?
A few people kind of saying that it's going to make or break this championship, because in the end, when you got ESL, when you got massive teams like Mouse and also FaZe and several others as well getting involved in the series, if this doesn't work, like how do you make something like this work? I mean, this has got pretty much everything perfect about it seemingly when it comes to an esports competition for sim racing, and so if it doesn't catch people's attention, then it sort of makes it's going to be very tricky for sim racing to ever break through, honestly.
But I think a lot of this comes down to the format, and let's just run you through that. So it's a knockout tournament with obviously drivers progressing through, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and a grand final. And with this tournament style system, it's going more esports style than traditional motorsport.
Le Mans Virtual is a good example where you got pretty much trying to replicate as much as possible the real life side of things.
It literally marries the real world Endurance Championship season.
Exactly. So this is a complete kind of change to that. There's no kind of real life drivers involved as well. That's always been something that has been promoted a lot. None of that. It is a proper esports competition. 20-minute races, I think, sounds pretty good to me.
And you've only got the top 6 progressing out of each.
And apparently they've tried that at the summit last year, and it caused some fairly aggressive driving, because you could turn up to these events and potentially get knocked out pretty much immediately. And so you've got to be very aggressive come that first race and all the races in order to make your way through. And so you're going to have sorts of that tension. But there's some big kind of lineups being announced, like Mouse with a big lineup: Loner, Kazdorp, Holtzman, Beneke, super competitive. Great to see these kind of esports teams recruiting some of the best drivers in the world.
It's great that they're taking this so seriously, and what I'm looking forward to is them bringing along their fans for the ride, which is only going to increase the viewership more so.
And these kind of esports teams being able to pick and choose drivers from all different sims, so not just iRacers, not just R-Factor drivers, just sim racers on the whole, and that makes this probably the most competitive lineup in any sim racing competition.
This is a brand new, fresh out the box sim, so it's a learning curve for everyone, and I think it's going to be all about those drivers that can adapt the quickest to it.
Really, anyone could win, to be honest. I think when it comes to round 1, Katowice, February the 11th to 12th, going to be anyone's pick, and it'll be interesting to see as well who can learn the sim across the first season, across the entire year as well, because there could well be a kind of change of order as the championship progresses as well. So certainly make sure to tune in. It's going to be a one not to miss, and hopefully this could be a breakthrough when it comes to sim racing. I think potentially more potential in this than anything since maybe the Formula E Las Vegas event. There really hasn't been a championship that I've been more excited about than this for a fair few years.
Well, let's take a look at what else has been happening in the world of sim racing, and let's kick things off with Williams Esports. They released a statement stating they condone the behaviour of their driver Alex Spetz after going below the yellow line in his LMDH pole lap in iRacing's Daytona 24 Hours. Forza Motorsport have dropped a trailer for their latest incarnation of the franchise. The new sim is due to be released later in the year with a wide range of new features. Studio 397's Paul Jeffrey has announced an investigation into the server issues that plagued the 24 Hours of Le Mans Virtual. Rewriting the sim's network code is anticipated. iRacing have announced the return of the Formula iRacing series. $500,000 worth of prizes are available, the headline being a funded seat in the real-world Skip Barber Racing Series program. And finally, Max Verstappen has installed a sim rig in his private jet to keep him distracted whilst travelling between F1 events. We're going to head into a quick break right now, but after that, Sam sits down for a chat with Civic Cup and Apex Racing Academy driver Will Redford.
I race in the Motorsports Civic Cup, which is a TCR UK support series. Racing in EP3 Type R Civics, and it's one make class. It's really competitive, it's really close. The racing is always like top notch, and it's a lot of fun. I took this year as a big learning year. It's my first time, one, competing in the car, and two, competing in a full year in anything. So we took it as a big learning year, and then next year is, you know, we're always planning to go for it. So next year is when we go for the title, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. Honestly, anything that I can do professionally, you know, if I'm making money from it and I'm racing, or if I'm a driver coach and I'm helping people race, or let's say, I don't know, I'm racing British touring cars or something, if I'm making money from it and it's you know, I'm doing it professionally, then I'm happy with it. I think, personally, I think British touring cars is sort of my goal. So I think that's pretty achievable, but you know, you don't know where things are going to take you in like a few years' time. I applied to join because obviously Apex is a top team, a top sim racing team. They've been around for ages. They've got like a big history, and you know, I wanted to be a part of esports. I want to, you know, I guess build on my skill set as a driver, learn more, compete at the top against, you know, other pro sim racers. So I think it was the right step to take to sort of get myself in the door, and obviously I ended up being accepted, so it worked out. That direct drive wheels hurt your hands. Honestly, just the amount of effort that goes into each event, you know, there's hours and hours of prep behind the scenes and you don't see it. You know, when, you know, you might end up in a 24-hour race and something goes wrong on lap one and all that prep goes out the window, and it's just, you never see that behind the scenes. But I think that's the biggest thing that I've realised, is how much time people put in and how much effort there is, you know, there from the entire team, really.
Well, on a slightly more somber note, this is going to be the late Apex for a little while. Well, we take a bit of a break, maybe change things up a little bit. Sam, it's been an emotional ride. 18 episodes. I finally beat you, you know, a couple of times in Sam versus Tim. Much better at driving in reverse around, not killing a Mazda MX-5 than anything else. Clearly, that is my calling in life. What was your favourite moment?
Oh gosh, favourite moment, probably you having a meltdown, I think, on some of the Sam versus Tims, maybe the anagrams,
Oh,
I reckon,
the
off
anagrams.
I think that was probably my favourite moments. Well, let's know what your favourite moments was. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. Of course, yeah, do keep an eye out on anything extra that we produce on the studio. You can still see me and Tim's faces every week when it comes to our Friday night broadcast, GT3 Trophy at the moment for that one. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, Tim, and yeah, thanks for being around for
It's been a pleasure. Our arguments, bickers, and such like, and well, laughs that we've shared here on the sofas. But don't forget to subscribe and follow all of our socials: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You know what to do. All the links are down below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Apex Racing TV. But thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon shortly from South. Tim Cox and Sam Fitzpatrick. Goodbye.